Have your first tournament data for post Blazing Dominion. Now make sure you guys smash the little crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content, and use discount code MCO40 over on Kong to save you on your purchase. They're the one that ran this fantastic event. We get to actually dive into the world of what we're kind of expecting out of the future format here, because it looks quite terrifying, actually. Now, the big boogeyman in the room, 7 of your top 16 were Cool Tunes. Now, you want me to tell you that Cool Tunes isn't a scary threat and that the meta will be fine? No. Not at all. Cool Tunes is the deck to beat. Naturia Rosewhip is going to cause a lot of problems for a lot of decks. And it's a rough situation to see with a lot of these. So yes, Cool Tune was very highly represented in your top 16. Now, I mean, when we get to take a look later in the week down into top 32, actually tonight, you guys will actually have a little bit of that picture being painted for you. That's quite interesting as well. Now, don't worry, we had Draco Tail showing up still. We had 3 variants of that, and we also had a pure branded variant. The one branded variant ran it across the field, ran it on home, ran across all the Cool Tune players, and managed to win the event, which was crazy. Now, the talk of the town, actually, was the Power Patron deck. I've shown off a little bit of what this deck could do, and honestly, the Duelist was just an entire new level. The Shade the Obscure did work for this. Now, we also had some of the standard meta challengers here. We also had Yummy, and we also had Mitsurugi. Not a single Vanquish Soul in this top cut, which is kind of interesting. We also had a Memento player bringing it on home. I don't know if you guys know or not, but Memento looks like it has a decent Cool Tune matchup, which might make it a decent challenger. And we had a Canine Train deck running around in this top cut. And I'm going to be honest with you, not a single soul was prepared to have a train deck smash on into this top cut and actually be a challenger. It's kind of cool. Let's pass on over to Declan. So winning our event here was Branded, sporting off the triple super polymerization. I can tell you, the amount of Theseus that I've seen ripped out of this man's extra deck every single Cool Tune game was pretty insane. I also see that we're bringing the Diabells in here. We have the warnings to check some good powerhouse cards. The Drolls, which, by the way, Droll is pretty strong into this meta. But the key MVPs, I feel like, for this deck were the Branded and High Spirits, the Super Polys. This Duelist had a good insight on how to check the meta, and they did wonderful with it. Next up here, we have Cool Tunes. And yes, seeing Harmonia just really puts into perspective how good this is. I do see down here in the side deck, we have the Ecclesia, we have the Garflare, just so we can go ahead and Ghost Reaper those out of existence. That's crazy. They also chose to main deck the Triple Crown. Crown in the mirror match is a pretty solid call, honestly, because locking your opponent in on their one monster so that monster can't actually navigate was a extremely good call. Next up here, we have more Cool Tune. This build, as you can see, no crowns present in here. But one thing that this build did feel like it had was it had access to Gravity Collapse, which in a lot of the games I feel like this was a defining moment, especially when Cool Tune is able to go first and kind of set the Gravity Collapse trap and force the opponent to kind of play into this. Also, the Manadium Reframing was an extremely good card as well. Definitely a lot of going first tools for this build. Next up here, we had more Cool Tunes. I told you there's a lot of Cool Tunes here. This build was playing some techie things. They had an Epsilon in here just to kind of be able to test. But, I mean, okay, man. We had the Anti-Spell Fragrance with the Reframing, which were cool. Once again, I mean, every one of these lists was bringing Rosewhip in the side deck, which means, you know, especially in the post-side decking world, you know, that's when we have to worry about the limitations of the effects of this, which is okay. Next up was our Canine Train deck. Yes, it did very well. Getting to see the exceptional schedule in action here, but I will say the biggest carry for this deck was, in fact, the Canine package. That was honestly, I think, the reason why this deck was able to be a consistent force within the meta. And I want to be like, well, you know, could you play without it? I don't think so. I think at this stage, having access to the Canine stuff, just to be able to, you know, get into Riverstormer was very needed. Next up here, we had Yummy. We had one Yummy variant do well, and it was sporting off the Mirror Resonator. Obviously, I was kind of surprised with how stupid Mirror Resonator is for this deck, because having this act as a level 1 while also having it act as a light fiend monster was absolutely ingenious, and it made setup for the Fiendsmith combo like even more insane. So kudos to innovating with this. This was unexpected in my opinion. Next up here we had standard good old Draco Tail. You know, Draco Tail really got pushed down here into the lower half of the meta, which I mean, like, this deck doesn't really change much. Like, yeah, Ketu's still limited. You have the Rahus. You know, you're still doing the same standardized shenanigans you've been doing, but this build's sporting in some Nibirus now. Because Nibiru is not bad against a good chunk of the meta, and also your extra deck handles pretty much everything that you need it to for this stage, so not too bad. And then our last top 8 list was actually the Power Patron deck. I can tell you, without any doubt in my mind, that this is the way this duelist played this deck, it was wonderful. One cool thing that this duelist did was they would side into the Archmage stuff to give the deck a mode change, effectively, because I was always wondering, you know, where these cards coming in. They were coming in post side decking, actually, which is kind of cool. Also, you know, keep in mind, how many Dominus is out the wazoo in here, which is kind of cool. Moving on along here, 9th place was a Draco Tail Challenger yet again. You do see there's a Droll and Lockbirds. We're sporting off, 41 cards, which is fine. They chose to bring droplets along the way. Depending on the matchup, they'd also side in the Super Polys. Don't know how I feel about that. I feel like Super Poly is something that you kind of want in the main deck just to be able to call up and be able to handle those certain big threats. Because if not, you know, you kind of just get ripped apart depending on the matchup. So that's an interesting one. Next up here, we have more cool tunes. This build choosing to play the 2 Duelist Genesis, which Duelist Genesis is not a bad card, man. It's definitely something that I think will be discussed a little bit more in the side deck later on, possibly. Just as like, oh, hey, you know, depending on the matchup, I need to go have the 4th copy of the Synchro Overtake just to be able to do the thing. Good old Rose Whip down on the side deck. We do see Deep Sea Prima Donna coming down as the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful choice for Harmonia. We'll see how that one goes. Next up here, we have more cool too. I'm telling you, you're seeing a lot of these. Did you also notice a lot of these variants have just no more Red Nova? I don't know if that's just like a consistency change or like people just don't like Red Nova, which is understandably so. This variant also is main decking the reframing. So, I mean, like, if you have access to it in the main deck, it's just going to kind of help you weave in and out of some of those combo lines, which is going to be kind of nice, actually. I do like when we can generate some decent advantage and really feel like, you know, we're kind of bringing on home, you know, the matchups that we think we should be seeing. Next up here is even more cool tune. Oh my gosh, this seems to be where we're expecting to go at this stage, you know, bringing home Harmonias. This build was side decking the Illusion Gate, which is kind of cool, but I don't know, that's seems like a lot. All right, next up here, we have our Mitsurugi Challenger. Mitsu's game plan has not changed, truthfully so. I think Mitsurugi still is able to do some of the dirtiest combo lines that it has, you know, set out to do within the format. And obviously, you know, this build's playing extras, which is fine. I mean, like, you do care about your extra deck to a degree, but, like, you can make those changes as need be for the build. Also, Dominus Spark is good. Next up is more Draco Tail. So much Draco Tail in this tournament, man. Even though you had 3 variants, still feels like a lot. This build's playing 1 Blazing Cartesia, which is in fact fine. I see that we have the Mistaken Arrest moving on along here in the side deck. This might not feel as impactful right now, really depending on how the meta, I feel like, chooses to shape up. Will depend on if we're going to stick around with this or not. Next up, we have more Cool Tune. Going with the 2 Moonlit Chills in the main deck and the triple Ghost Spell. I will say Ghost Spell felt like a pretty strong card when it actually came up. Also, Typhoon did some work for some of these matchups, being able to just have it be a card that you could make bounce attack into the big old Negator. Good old Zalan here was actually pretty decent, and I kind of appreciated that, honestly. And next up, we have our Memento Challenger, actually getting to showcase, you know, this deck did pretty well into the matchup. Obviously, side decking, you have some interesting choices down here, but you don't really care about your action. I mean, you do, but like you're playing Memento. Your job is just to go first, smash through a bunch of big dudes, and or have the opponent try to figure out what they're going to do against you. And honestly, it seemed pretty consistent. I like that. So, what do you guys think about this breakdown? We will have your top 32 later this afternoon. But please, leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here in a day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.